It's time for the Savvy Realtor Podcast. I'm Walter Storholt alongside Angie Cole, the owner and broker in charge of A. Cole Realty, serving you throughout the Triangle, teaching you about the ins and outs when it comes to buying or selling a home. You can find the team online by going to acolerealty.com. That's A-C-O-L-E realty.com, or by calling 919-578-3128. That's 919-578-3128. And now it's time for one of the top realtors in the Triangle, Angie Cole, and the Savvy Realtor Podcast. Angie, let's go around the horn to get your reactions to some real estate news and findings of late. Interesting headline I saw the other day that mortgage debt can increase your life expectancy. Just sounds kind of crazy off the bat.
No. That seems like where did you find this stuff?
Yeah,
anytime you have, I would say, mortgage debt, anytime you have credit card debt, any financial stress, that's a stress, and that's a stress on your body. So that is just crazy to me.
Interestingly, though, they did say researchers found a link between those who have mortgage debt and longer life expectancy. But the same link was not found with other types of, like you mentioned, credit card debt, personal loan debt, auto debt, student loans. So there's some sort of mental difference there.
I'm rethinking this because think of mortgage debt. Currently, we have mortgage debt. Our home is not paid off. Am I freaking out over it? No. Because that's just something, most of us, I would say the higher percentage, they'll get a 30-year mortgage, right? And so that's just a debt that you have. That's just an everyday expense that you're always expecting to have. And eventually, yes, hopefully you pay it off, but it's not one of those things that, it's like a credit card or an outstanding student loan. So you know what? Maybe it's saying the life expectancy is longer because you're in a home that you love.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that could be one connection. I might say this is more of, what's the old saying, like, causation doesn't equal, now I'm butchering whatever that saying is. Correlation doesn't equal causation or whatever it is. Something like that. Somebody's cringing out there going, you're butchering that quote.
It's just sad that I have not heard of that before, but that's okay.
I think my guess is it's not so much the mortgage debt that is the factor. It's that homeownership.
Yeah.
Because it's a sense of responsibility. And I think as humans, we thrive on having responsibility, and a sense of purpose. And homeownership can give you that in certain ways. So I think that's why it's a little bit different. I don't think it's the debt necessarily. It just
right. So debt just seems like such a negative word. But I don't look at our mortgage payment, and our current existing loan as it's not stressful at all. That's not something that we're like fighting that we have to pay this off super quick. We're in debt. I don't look at it that way. So, okay, I get it. Actually, I'm on board with them.
I think it's probably more of a homeownership increases your life expectancy, maybe the actual finding there. They were just using mortgage debt as the, comparison or the barometer there to compare to other types of debt. But
yep.
I don't know if debt's truly the cause there. That would be my interpretation.
Yep.
Other headline I saw, and this one freaked me out a little bit, and this made national headlines just the other day. EnergyStar, which is that government organization that's always talking about efficiency and energy use and that kind of thing. You've probably heard EnergyStar appliances that get that stamp of approval for energy efficiency and that sort of thing. They came out and officially said, all right, the optimal home temperature when you are in it is 78 degrees. It is 85 degrees when you're away from home and 82 degrees when you're sleeping.
That just sounds miserable.
I think that sounds crazy.
We keep saying that we are for sure positive that our thermostat downstairs on our main level is not reading correctly because we have it on 78 at all times, but it's almost cool. But then you go upstairs, the second floor, and I know, of course, hot air rises, but we typically during the day leave that at 75. And it still seems warmer than downstairs. But, when we go to bed, we always turn it down just a notch. So we actually, I guess we have maybe a hotter home. I think you told me you like to have it cool. 82 degrees when you're sleeping. You'd be sweating.
Yeah. That one sounded a little crazy to me.
No, that one's crazy. I'm not agreeing with this one.
Yeah. Even my wife, who loves it hot. We go and see her parents. They live in Graham, and we go and see her parents, and her whole family, they basically are non-believers in air conditioning. And so we're sitting, I just have funny stories from when we were dating and, now through our marriage, whenever we're over at her parents' house, we'll all be sitting around in the evening in the summer watching a movie in their living room. And everyone's just, totally relaxed and, fine. And I'm there sweating as we're watching this movie, like in heavy breaths, trying to make it through the film.
This is not comfortable. That is.
Even
I don't know what's worse, being hot or cold.
So you can always put on more layers, but you can only take off so many depending on the company present.
I tell you what, though, I would rather be sweating any day versus being cold. I cannot stand being cold. That's just miserable. And I know everyone's
I'm on the
different.
other side of the tracks there for sure. But even my wife was like, 82 degrees when you're sleeping does sound a bit on the warm side.
Yeah, even with no covers, you still be hot.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't see a whole lot of people following those EnergyStar guidelines, unfortunately. One more headline I saw, and this one has some important implications to actual real estate for sure. Top closing roadblocks. So this was a Realtor confidence survey. It revealed that through the months of April to June, 76% of contracts made it to closing on time. So a quarter of closings did not close on time. However, it wasn't all doom and gloom. 20% of that missing 24% were delayed, but it did eventually close. 4% were canceled. So that's not too bad, right? 4% being canceled?
No, I mean, on our end, I would say it is a little bit lower. It would be interesting to see, what do the other months look like? I know this is April to June, and just thinking about on average, I know with our team, it says only 76% made it to close it. Oh, but that's including the delayed portion. But that even seems like a high percentage of delays.
20% of all closings were delayed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting. I would say for us, I would say these numbers are definitely skewed. We do not have that. I mean, of course, we have a delay here and there out of our control, for, financial issues, appraisal, home inspections, like all these things that were just listed. But that seems kind of high to me as far as the amount of delays. And even the percentage of canceled contracts, I would say ours is even probably only about 2% of contracts actually terminate throughout the process. Interesting.
Well, it went on to further break it down and said that the top roadblocks to those closings were financing issues at 35%, appraisal issues at 25%. So those were your two biggies. Mm-hmm. And then at 16%, you had home inspection issues, and under 10%, you had some titling and deed problems. Seems like a lot of problems with titling and deed that I wouldn't expect.
That one seems high to me. I cannot remember a home that did not close because there was title issues. Yeah. We have had recently where a seller, come to find out, not on our end, we represented the buyer, but the seller on the other end was upside down by about $4,000, and I'm not sure how no one knew that this was going to come up. Of course, you do net proceeds sheet, you get an approximate loan payoff, all of that. But for the most part, I cannot even think of a time where we didn't close because of title issues, but I guess delays, right? But the order of these seem correct. I would say that, biggest hiccup we run into is financing, where there can be delays or terminations. Appraisals definitely could be an issue here in our market right now. Home inspection issues, most of the time I feel like we can negotiate and get through those. But still, once in a blue moon, we could have someone who just runs away just as soon as they see the inspection report and won't even give us the opportunity to fix or to negotiate. Or maybe it takes a little bit longer to get, the estimates and get a second opinion. So maybe we have delays. So yeah, I would say the order of those I would agree with.
Any other roadblocks that you see that you try to head off before they become a problem?
This is sad to say, but I have had, now in my 12 years of business, I have had 2 situations where the day before closing, there has been terminations because of marital status.
Oh, wow, that's too bad.
One decided the day before closing they were not going to get married. The other one decided the day before closing they were getting a divorce.
Wow.
Well, talk about shocker and just crazy for everyone involved. And I mean, it's just sad, right? But wow. Yeah. So there's reasons why people back out or are forced to back out, and it kind of is what it is. It really is sad to be on the opposite side though of it. I had one recently where they decided they were getting separated the day before closing, and I was representing the seller. And so the sellers had their home off the market, for now 30 to 45 days, ready to close. Everything's good to go. And by the way, you need to relist. There's nothing the seller could do. No hope in saving that, right?
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, so I thought that was a little crazy. But, I always say this real estate market never seems to surprise us. It's never ending with the new, situations and occurrences that take place.
You've been listening to the Savvy Realtor podcast. I'm Walter Storholt alongside Angie Cole. She's the owner and broker in charge of A. Cole Realty here in the Triangle. And if you have questions for Angie, we invite you to go online to acolerealty.com. Listen to past podcast episodes on the website, read the blog, and all the great information, including the option to find a home right there on the website. That's acolerealty.com. And you can also call Angie with your questions, 919-578-3128.